Good evening. I'd like to call the meeting of the Board of Public Works to order. We'll start off with this January 6th meeting with a roll call. Clerk?
Alderman Lewis. Alderman Marshall. Alderman Grady. Alderman Rapella. Alderman Nichols. Alderman Eisenach is absent. Alderman Sevenik.
Here.
Alderman Perkins. 7 are present.
Thank you, Clerk. Moving forward, we have public comments on any matter listed on the agenda. Is there anyone who wishes to speak? Seeing none, we will move forward from that. We have like 10 people in the gallery. No, we have 1. Thank you for coming. First item then is the minutes to approve the Board of Public Works. Do we have a motion? Alderman Rapella.
Yes, thank you very much, Alderman Sevenik. I'll make a motion to approve the Board of Public Works minutes dated December 16th, 2024.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Perkins. Any additions or corrections? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Those are, I'm not used to talking lightly. Those are approved. So we'll move forward. Usually I'm pretty loud. We have payments. The first one is to Northeast Asphalt. Is there a motion? Alderman Rapella.
Thank you very much, Alderman Sevenik. I'll make a motion to make the payment for Northeast Asphalt Incorporated Contract Unit number 2024-03. And this is in regards to Jefferson Park improvements for an amount of $84,320.05. And this is payment number 6.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Grady. Any further discussions? We'll take a roll call.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you, Clerk. Moving forward, we have a discussion topic, and that is the recycling drop-off center out at the city garage. If you recall, when we were discussing the possibility of a fee structure, there was talk of removing this, and I believe the community did not want this. But if you recall, Thad had mentioned that they're having serious problems out there, and I also heard from other staff members of the problems of other communities coming into Menasha, dumping off items, and also our own residents dumping items that should not be dumped out there. And I brought up, well, why don't we look at our security cameras? Maybe I shouldn't be mentioning that, but there's no security cameras anymore since we put up the new facility. And I believe the cameras we did have out there were just visual ones, so that they weren't being recorded necessarily. So this is open up for conversation. I'll let the director speak first, but I think we have to start coming up with some resolutions of how we handle things out there. And I have a few, but I'd rather hear first from our director. And I would, Director Martin, if you'd like to speak on this topic, I appreciate it at this point.
Sure. I had spent quite a bit of time with, sorry, I'm trying to be quiet here, with our staff and trying to get a handle or understanding of the operations out there. So I've just put a quick little memo together with basically a summary of what's going on. And we, in trying to get a handle on that operation, I thought it'd be good to get an idea of what that operation costs us. Unfortunately, there really isn't any good way where we're capturing all the costs, so we had to put together an estimate. Not an exact figure, but roughly speaking, the recycling drop-off center costs the city approximately $35,000 annually. There is the costs pertaining to it are in site maintenance, which would be usually like every Monday they'll go through and clean up the site, organize stuff, because There isn't any, it's not supervised. And also later in the week, they'll also do another run through to clean up, tidy up the site. Then there's, of course, hauling fee or hauling costs, our staff taking the items, whatever they may be, to dispose of them. Then there's the disposal fees, and then there's also processing illegal items, things that are dropped off there that shouldn't be, such as like TVs. That's a more frequent one. I guess I can provide some more information if you so like, but with that, I guess I'll leave it at that for now. Okay.
Anyone from the committee? I don't know who was first. Alderman Nichols.
Thank you. Can you help us understand, more fully understand the extent of the problem that we're being told is there? Because I don't understand what is, define the problem and help us understand the scope of the problem here. Why are we being asked to talk about this and do something about it?
Sure. The problem, I think, is quite honestly, as Alderman Sevenik had mentioned quite nicely, is that there's concern that there are individuals, with there being no supervision really of the site, that there are individuals who are non-Menasha residents using this site. I think that's pretty obvious that that's occurring. The problem is we can't apply any numbers to it because we don't know. So it's, when I've talked to a variety of people out there asking them, what percentage do you think? I talked to some of the sanitation workers who are out there. I talked to our office manager out there. Obviously, I spoke to our public works superintendent and the deputy director of municipal operations, and just feeling out what they believe that percentage is. And I'd say they were ranging somewhere between 10 and 20% of the overall users of that site are likely non-Menasha residents, but it's just a guess. I can tell you from my experience at Nina, before they implemented their punch card system, there was significant abuse of their drop-off site. It's different because they have, it's not just recycling items or the items that we have here. Actually, there's some things that's kind of different. They don't pick up the Freon appliances or things like microwaves, but they do pick up bulky item garbage that you could drop off. I shouldn't say pick up, that you can drop off there. And there's significant abuse of that before they put in their punch card system. And even with the punch card system, there's still issues.
Could you explain what a punch card system is?
Sure. The punch card system for the city of Nina is a cardstock piece of paper that the city hands out to, or that mails out to each of its residents. Well, I should say specifically, if I recall correctly, if you live in a fourplex or less, or in a single unit family home, then in those cases you would receive this punch card. The punch card comes with 3 punches now. It used to come with 5. And you can use that site 3 times for free. Otherwise, you'll have to pay a fee to utilize the site. So then in that case, you would have to go to City Hall, obtain an additional punch card or single-use punches, and then once you obtain that, then you can go out to the site. And I think Appleton, you could just drive up and you pay, but there's some sort of level of protection, if you will, of the site, whether financial or...
So why pay if you can just go to Menasha and dump it? That's what's happening.
especially, I think if you consider where the site is located relative to Fox Crossing and Harrison, I think it's pretty obvious that if you're a resident there, especially like Fox Crossing, if there's something that, I don't know what you can drop off at the municipal center, but that's on the other side of the little Lake Butamore. Are you going to drive over there, or are you going to drive, if you're on this side of the lake, are you going to drive, a couple minutes over and you can use this, and there is no detection. So my suggestion, if I didn't really want to go there, but if we are to continue to operate this site, I think we should try to obtain metrics, either through cameras or whatever, to at the very least, get an understanding of who's visiting the site and maybe how frequently they're visiting the site. And that would give the common council better information as to what to do with it.
And I guess what I've been told is that basically every Monday, we have staff that spends anywhere between an hour and 2 hours cleaning out there just because of this problem. I'm sorry I didn't catch you guys. Alderman Rapella.
Thank you, Alderman Sevenick. James, I'm sorry, what are the hours on the weekend?
Hours are, my understanding is the hours are 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. throughout the whole week.
So 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. I know I drove by there on a Saturday, I believe, and I didn't write down the date or anything, but I'm going, there's nobody at the city garage. There's nobody in the parking lot. The place is empty, yet they're going in there, dropping off stuff. And I realize we want to have it for the weekend opportunities for people to do drop-off. I just think that's the exorbitant amount of hours from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. that it is open. I don't utilize it very much at all. But I know we used to have an individual, Skowronski, I believe, was the person who had sat there after, like, from 3 to 5 p.m., and he would check your driver's license, but we eliminated that, or that's not happening anymore. I don't know if he was there on the weekends, but cameras or a person checking in, if we cut it down, it cuts some hours out of it. I don't know, maybe make it a 6-hour shift or something, but maybe we have to have somebody that's there checking driver's licenses, those type of things. That's just my thought. So, thank you.
Alderman Girardi.
Thank you, Chair. Before we get into the detail, not the details, but the cost of all this stuff, if we're going to do this and do that, back in August, we offered a program, close down the recycle drop-off center, and you get an extra recycled pickup in your monthly, whatever, you get more returns. I'll forget the amount. But that was close to $500,000. It was going to cost probably the cart owners another $75 for a recycling fee, is what we proposed back in August. That was shot down because, we got a recycle center. We can just drop stuff off. We don't need this. We don't have to have $75 per person, blah, blah, blah. But if this sounds like to me that it's going down this hole of hiring a person now to check, doing a punch card type system like Nina does, putting surveillance cameras up, doing all this stuff. We got to look at the cost of all this, and would it be better to go back to the $75 fee that we were proposing back then, close down the site, no worries, no nothing, nobody's out there. So I appreciate the fact that Alderman Sevenick added this back to a debate or to a topic, but there's some hidden costs here now that are all starting to creep in. It might not be $75, but it could be 30 or 40. And so And there's more to look at here. I don't know if this is an action item on this or anything. Yeah, I didn't think so. So just keep that in mind too, of other things that are being brought up as to how to fix this or whatever. Thank you.
Alderman Rapella.
Could you explain that punch system? Okay, I'm going in there at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday. There's no way to punch my card. How does that work?
Yeah, for Nina, they have an attendant whenever the center's open.
Okay, you didn't explain that before, that
Yeah,
they have
sorry about
somebody
that.
sitting there.
And that's from what time to what time? That's not from 6 to 8 a.m.
No, weekdays, if I remember right, it's 7 a.m. to, I feel like it's 5 p.m. And on Saturdays, I think it's 7, it could be a little later, it might be 8 to noon,
Okay,
going off of memory at least.
sure. All right, thank you very much.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you. So other than the commingled recycling and cardboard that's dropped off there, you did mention TVs, Freon appliances, other miscellaneous things that get dropped off that have a cost associated with their disposal. So what happens, I'm assuming that all of those things have to be processed, and then who pays for their proper disposal?
Okay, we'll start with Freon appliances. So what's supposed to happen is anyone who drops off a Freon appliance, and that being something like refrigerators, dehumidifiers, air conditioners, and freezers, that's what I'm bundling as a Freon appliance. Those you need to purchase a Freon sticker, and you can obtain that right at the garage. So as you pull in, if the garage is open, then you can go talk to Karen and she'll get you, or you can do it here at City Hall too. You can get your sticker and you can drive in, put your refrigerator out there and apply your sticker. That's what's supposed to happen. Some people, of course, put those appliances out there without the sticker during likely times that it's not being supervised. Tires, again, are another thing. I think we use the same sticker that, I apologize, I have the fee written down here somewhere, but it's the same thing. They apply, you're supposed to have a sticker, you pay for the fee, which is supposed to cover the city's cost in the disposal. So we'll haul it to wherever it needs to be hauled to, Outagamie County, most likely, and then the city of Menasha pays that fee, but that is supposed to be offset by those sticker fees. Things like metal, which it's kind of a variety of items, but stoves, lawnmowers, snow blowers, some metal furniture, what have you, those we do not charge, and generally we can be, if it's enough metal, we can actually get a credit for those items. Recycling does cost us. There's a fee for getting rid of recycling. Motor oil is one thing that you can dispose of there, and I believe there's no fee that we charge for that, and I don't believe I think we have somebody, if I remember right, who comes in and takes that from us. And then microwaves we treat like a Freon appliance as well, that you gotta get a sticker for it.
So if the person dropping it off doesn't get the sticker, doesn't pay for the sticker or the tag, then the city's responsible for 100% of the cost of that item to be sent to its next location.
Correct.
Okay.
Whatever people happen to drop off, things like TVs are not accepted. We say that they're not accepted, but that doesn't stop people from doing so. And then, like you say, you can have appliances that are dropped off that we do accept, however, require a fee, and if, sometimes people just drop them off.
Okay. I'm just going to add my 2 cents to the conversation today going forward. I think part of this is not just staff time, but I'd be curious to know how much the city is paying for those items that are dropped off that are unaccounted for. So folks that didn't buy their appropriate sticker or tag that we are then paying. And the reason I say that is because for me, in the big picture, $35,000 isn't a lot of money in the big picture, the city's budget.
But they're coming from other communities.
I understand that they're coming from other communities is the point, and to me, it's how far do you want to go? I agree that our gates are open a generous amount of time. I also know that it's really important to have our facility available to folks who work. So they need opportunities to, before and after work, and yes, even on weekends, to drop their things off. I was out there over the holiday, and the cardboard thing was just a disgrace. I mean, I was like, where can I put my crushed cardboard in a neat box where it's going to be out of the way? And let me find another box that somebody didn't collapse to put my other things in so it doesn't blow away. I think it's an important service to offer since we've closed the yard waste option over there. I can't tell you how many complaints I've received about having to go to Buckland's because Buckland's hours are unpredictable. If you're a person who can go there on the weekend, you might have to work on the weekend. And they close at noon, and so if you work till noon, you can't get there on the weekend either, so you're really stuck, and I've received a lot of complaints about that. And frankly, if we close the site, I'll put $100 on it. I'm not a betting person, but I'd bet $100 that whoever's dropping their things off without paying for their sticker or tag is gonna drop it off right outside the gate anyway. So we're not necessarily, so I think there's probably a middle ground here somewhere. And I understand what we're trying to accomplish here, but I think we have to be thoughtful, intentional, and the folks that always get penalized the most are the ones who actually follow the rules, and that's the majority of people. And the other thing that will happen is if we don't have a place for people to take these things or a process to deal with them, then we're going to be picking them up on the curb or along the railroad tracks or somewhere else. So they're still going to be in our community, and then we'll have to find a different way to deal with them. So I don't think closing the center is the option. Finding a better way to track who's using it, and maybe there's a way to approach those other municipalities and say, hey, your folks are using this, and here's, what can we do about it? I think there has to be some way with technology to do this better than a punch card. So I think there's some options out there, and with more information and a little more research and time, probably a good solution can be brought forward.
Alderman Marshall.
Thank you, Chair. James, I think too, with this drop-off center, like you said, a lot of the legal items, a low-cost camera system, you see stuff on Amazon. I don't know, I said to Stan, I don't know if we have to order through certain vendors or anything, if we could set up something. I think that would be a deterrent if these people maybe got something in the mail saying you were seen doing this. There's administrative costs, who's going to do that? I know someone that worked at the Nino location, you know him too, big guy, and it's gotten into where fights have almost broken out there. And thank God he was a big guy. He was able to take care of himself, but manning something, I think to nip it in the bud would be some type of quick camera system, something just to see what happens, get some feedback, some data, something on that.
Thank you. Alderman Lewis.
Thank you. I just also wanted to kind of piggyback off of the ideas that have been already stated. As somebody who has used the facility and whose family uses the facility relatively often for cardboard or God knows what, not large appliances that are not supposed to be there, but I think it would be beneficial to look into some more digital ideas. Obviously, starting with cameras is probably going to be a must-have, but something like a QR code system, whether that be something sent out through the mail or an app you could download on your phone, and have your own QR code saying, hey, I am this Menasha resident, and then you can have it, like the YMCA lets you scan in with a barcode. I don't think it would be that unusual to have something where you have so many scans for free, and if we wanted to charge for additional things, then you go to City Hall or the municipal building and you say, hey, I need more, or the city garage, sorry, and they say, hey, I'd like to purchase more scans, kind of thing. I think that's going to be would potentially be a lot less, there would not be that human element of having to have somebody working at the center whenever it's open, but also being able to watch traffic coming in and out, and how many times people are taking advantage of it. So, things to think about.
Thank you, Alderman Lewis and Alderman Marshall. You both make very good points, because actually the staff out there suggested that we look at exactly what you were talking about. You know, we do need to embrace technology, and you don't have to have a punch card. I mean, my goodness, we want to stamp it too or something, but the QR code is a great idea, and that was something that was suggested. When we get our calendar, you also get a card that has your QR code. You scan it, the gate opens, and you're able to dump off your stuff. You don't have to hire an additional staff member and all that kind of stuff. Alderman Marshall makes a very good point about security cameras. I have 3 security cameras on the outside of my house, and that cost me $150 for it to go on the cloud. So if someone really violated the situation, we would have it on video, and I'm sure the city attorney would tell you, video is something that really works in court. When someone says, well, I wasn't there, and there you are walking in with a big TV, you know, or throwing in a tire or something. And, you know, it's the trash that gives us the trash, and that's what bothers me about this. And I think we do need to discuss this. This has nothing to do with the resolution we had in the past about recycling. This is about the center itself. That resolution was about freeing up the levy of $280,000 so that we could spend money elsewhere, which I don't think we should be doing. We need to focus on what's happening out at that garage. Why are we spending so much money and wasting our resources out there for people who are violating the law? And the reason I asked that we discuss this, because we just got excellent points from everybody here of ideas that can be taken back to the Department of Public Works, where they and your staff, Mayor, that can come up with a solution, as Alderman Nichols suggested, and come back to this committee and say, hey, here's an option we believe would work best for us. So, you know, a lot of times staff just does this stuff, but I wanted our input to give staff, to let them know where we're coming from. Alderman Rappella.
Thank you very much, Alderman. James, would it be something that you could do as far as maybe on Mondays, just so we get an idea, rather than us driving out there on Monday mornings, take a look and see what type of mess is there? Is there a chance that you could, for the next few weeks, maybe take some photos on Monday morning and let us know what we're dealing with? That might help us out to realize the scope of what kind of mess is out there.
Absolutely,
Just
that's easy enough.
Just post it on your, whatever, just send it to the alderman or however you want to post it, so, just so we can see it in an email or whatever, so.
Sure.
What we have to look at on Monday mornings. So, thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Alderman Rappella. I think we have enough information. Everyone good? I really just wanted us to be able to have this information to give to staff, and seeing that there is no further business, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Moved by Alderman Perkins. Is there a second? Second by Alderman Marshall. All those in favor, say aye. 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 We are opposed. Have a good evening.